All right. So one of the most requested themes when it comes to TRS is spirituality. Now, this is someone I met last year who heavily impacted my life. I won't call him a mentor because I've not met him enough, but the few meetings that I've had with Dadashri have been very impactful. Some may think of him as a monk, some may think of him as a mentor. For me, he's just a friend. He's an MBBS grad who discovered aspects of spirituality very early on in life. Now, what those aspects are, his story, the nature of the pineal gland, the scientific nature of spirituality, these are the topics we've touched upon in this episode of the Ranveer Show. The one thing I can definitely say is that in your own spiritual journey, and every single human being has a spiritual journey, which begins at different timelines for different people, but every single human being has a spiritual journey. And once that journey begins, you end up meeting people and you end up having these deep spiritual conversations that only enhance your spiritual sensibilities. For more episodes like this, follow us on Spotify. We're a Spotify exclusive, which means that every episode is available on Spotify 48 hours before it's available anywhere else in the world. I hope you enjoy this very special episode with Maitreya Dadashreeji. Maitreya Dadashreeji, welcome to the Ranveer Show.
Yes, namaste.
I'm honestly a little confused about how to introduce you, and I didn't prep too much for this particular episode other than just being very excited, very at peace.
Yes.
I think I had the most beautiful sleep of my life this morning. It was just magical. I felt like even the sleep was purposeful for this. While this will eventually become a spiritual conversation of sorts, for me, it's much more a mentoring conversation for myself. And these kind of episodes where I'm talking to someone who's from the world of spiritualism, I usually don't prepare for.
Yes.
I just throw my real life questions in front and I hope to receive answers. So
Definitely.
Thank you for being on the show today, sir. So I met you around a year ago and I was very, very broken at that point in my life. I don't know, something had fundamentally broken inside me. There was self-doubt of another degree, sadness of another degree, anger of another degree. And I don't know how, but Manjari auntie, who is a friend of my mom, actually reached out and said that I watch your stuff and there is someone I wish for you to meet. And she called me to the ashram, the Maitreya Ashram.
Yes. This is ShantiKshetra Premgiri Ashram.
Okay.
Yeah, this is at Karujat.
Yeah. It's a beautiful place, and she made me meet you, and I that's what I did. Like I put my questions out in front of you, and you almost gave me some sort of spiritual therapy.
Yes.
You told me some very basic things, which we'll get to, I think, over the course of this episode. I'd probably like to start off this conversation by asking you about your story. And even I would like to know, who are you? Like in terms of some people might look at you as some sort of a spiritual master. Some people look at you with some certain terms. For me, I feel you're a very solid mentor to a lot of people. You're sort of a modern day coach. So how would you talk about your own story?
See, starting with this, who are you? So I see myself as a friend, a true friend or divine friend.
I mean, even in college, I used to be a person who used to look down upon meditation and yoga. We had someone who had come and done a workshop of meditation in college, and I was like that kid who laughed at it.
Exactly.
And now I'm talking so much about meditation and spiritualism because I've seen what it's done for my mind.
Exactly.
I've seen the science behind it as well. You know, just the process of meditation, process of faith does certain things to the structure of your brain.
Exactly. Yeah. It becomes your experience. Then you follow it. Just not because of a book or someone told you. You enjoyed it. You liked it. Now let me do it. That's how it is. And people are going to, move towards the same direction, spiritual direction. Not becoming Baba, Maharaj or Guru, becoming you. Real you. That's what the spirituality is about. And according to me, everyone is spiritual. Even if you don't believe in God, that is also being spiritual. That's all right.
What do you mean?
It's about you. It was never ever about God as such, Either you discover yourself, that's self-discovery, or you discover God. And both are same. There is no difference. Yourself is God and God is yourself. That is the same thing. So, Gautam Buddha, Lord Buddha, he was discovering his self. He wasn't discovering God. He wanted to know, who am I truly? Cause of suffering.
you spoke about actually going through an experience yourself. You said that, skeptics should experience things.
Exactly.
Do you mean meditation? Like, what do you mean?
No, not necessary. So see, don't try to attach this experience with any specific tool or technique.
Okay.
That's again wrong approach towards it. This world is open. Open your mind. The moment you tie this experience of yours with meditation, then there are various other ways that you might have these experiences and you're blocking it for no reason. So when you see, meditation is something working for you, then go deep into it, explore it. But that's not the only thing. So whoever experienced it, Lord Buddha, it was not because of meditation, Ranveer. It is not because of what practices he did, not because of rituals or havans or even bhakti, whatever that you talk about. It's not because of that. So it's like, when I came to your studio, so I was standing outside and I'm knocking on the door all the time. I keep knocking all the time, morning, evening. I want to come inside. What's the possibility? What should happen for me to get into your studio? What should happen?
I have to open the door.
Open the door. People don't see that. People think that just keep knocking the door, keep knocking the door, keep knocking the door. But they forget there is someone beyond this door who's going to open it. And he will open by his own will. You can't compel him. So that's who is going to open the door? Divine, God. It's the same way for Babaji and Kriya Yoga. People see Babaji through Kriya Yoga. I see Babaji, and then through Babaji I see Kriya Yoga. There is a difference. Someone who created it, he has to open the door. So people don't focus on that. That's where it gets confused. So there is no hard and fast rule in spiritual plane. It is there for sannyasis. They need to get up early in the morning. They need to follow certain, procedures. It is required for them. But someone in practical life, they don't need to do it. If I compare even your spiritual state with someone who's sitting there in Himalayas, sitting in the cave, I'm not saying that he is higher and you're lower. In spiritual plane, everyone is equal and same. There is no one higher and lower. I don't see that. I see everyone as one. Spiritually also. Connected. Just your experience is different, my experience is different. But there is no way that you are lower or I'm higher. We are same, all of us.
So the first question is Guru and Master the same thing when you're referring to Master? And the second question, obviously, we have to talk about Mahavatar Babaji because he's a part of BeerBiceps as well. The book has so much written about Babaji. And generally, I think a lot of Indians are getting to know about the legend of Mahavatar Babaji. Yes. So now I will let you answer that question. I would love to know it from your eyes and minds. So.
Yes. You may have many mentors. The way now, suppose we are doing this shoot and we are covering some spiritual topic. So this is one aspect of your personality or your work, that I want to do this work. I want people to know about what's happening all over the world, in India maybe. And then since this is a professional aspect, you're enjoying doing it. So you need someone who knows about this subject, someone who has done this earlier, or someone who is expert in this. Without that person, it's difficult to do. You can still experiment. You can still, practically, do your activities and all that. But when you have someone who knows about this subject in and out, that gives you boost, that gives you better, position. And then you start growing. So this person can be called as a mentor or a teacher also. So Sant Kabir or Sant Gyaneshwar, these are Sadgurus. When you talk about Sai Baba or even there are many in Ramakrishna Paramhans. So these are Sadgurus, and the Moksha Guru or Param Guru is like Mahavatar Babaji or his Guru Agastya Muni. So they are there to give you moksha and mukti. So you don't need to follow them all the time. Go, pray, ask, and then they'll just give it. That's how simple it is. So you may have many masters, not an issue with that. Don't get confused with it. Gurus. But Sadguru is always one. Param Guru is one for this entire planet itself at any period of time. That there is one or two maximum.
Like God?
You can call it as God. That's what I just told you. God don't identify as someone as one single person. It's a consciousness. It's a consciousness. So you can see Babaji as God. He doesn't see himself as God. He sees himself as servant, sevak, and he enjoys being that.
Have you experienced enlightenment?
How do you define, tell me, enlightenment?
Was there a day where you just had a very profound experience in terms of, and again, my reference word enlightenment is coming from videos I've seen online from people who other people consider their masters.
Yes, exactly.
That's my only reference and what I've read about enlightenment.
Exactly.
So what I understand about it is either you meditate up to a point or you allow yourself to flow into bhakti, as in just belief up to a point where you feel like that divine consciousness or that liquid or gas that we spoke about, which is everywhere, it flows through you completely.
Yes.
And your boundaries disappear in terms of you truly realize that you and your friend, you and the trees, you and the mountains are all one entity.
Yes.
So have you had a moment in your life where you felt like
Yes. So again, enlightenment, this word, if you can, take this word. You said you read somewhere or you saw some videos on the topic, enlightenment. So this state itself is very confusing for people.
So just one second, before I let you continue, I just want to bring in what a neuroscientist friend of mine, Dr. Sid Warrior, said on this show.
Yes.
We spoke about the concept of enlightenment and he said that the possible biology behind it, and he's also someone who studied the Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
So there's a part of your brain which is responsible for all your sense pleasures, which is your limbic system.
Yes.
That's the part of your brain. Then there's a part of your brain which has the ability, after years of, say, meditation or evolution, theoretically, to possibly detach itself from your limbic system. That part is called your prefrontal cortex. So according to him and according to us on that episode, we said that maybe the point of enlightenment is where your prefrontal cortex entirely detaches itself from all its sense pleasures of the limbic system, of dopamine. So that's the neuroscience that I've understood, that you go beyond what your body craves in terms of, I want sex, I want food, I want money, things like that. Anything that you lust over, you leave your sort of limbic system and the dopamine systems behind, and you entirely kind of immerse yourself into her higher pleasures, which can be felt by the prefrontal cortex. Also, because the prefrontal cortex is sort of at the front part of your brain, theoretically, according to neuroscience, it's a part of your brain that can constantly grow. So what I imagine enlightenment to be is the point where the prefrontal cortex breaks away from the limbic system and then enters a new stage of growth, sort of. So anyway, that's the neuroscience that I have understood. Now I will let you continue.
So first I'll tell you how the state is, enlightenment state-wise.
Sure.
So people have read about it, enlightenment topic. Then there are scriptures or books, big books on enlightenment topic, but none of them have experienced it. It's always about others, so read or told by someone. So as a naive, a beginner for spiritual people, when they refer to something like this, then they say, oh, then I need to be there. I need to experience what has been written in that book. But the fact is that person also hasn't experienced it. He doesn't know what this enlightenment is about. So people get confused, then I need to see that, divine consciousness expanding somewhere, everywhere. I become you and I'm everywhere. That way people define it and then they say, oh, I'm not experiencing it. I'm not enlightened. I'm not enlightened. I need to be there. I need to be there. The thing is, enlightenment is beyond your I. As far as this I is craving to experience enlightenment, you are far, far away from enlightenment state. So for me, it just happened that moment. It just happened here.
The sentence you just said, the moment you start craving it, and that I is far from enlightenment state.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm assuming that your limbic system is also responsible for your sense of ego.
Yes.
And you're constantly feeding into your ego and you say, I want that enlightenment.
Yes.
Okay.
So see, limbic system is connected to your pineal gland. And pineal gland is something which is, your, I would say, supreme, state.
Your third eye?
Third eye. Wherein that gets awakened and that regulates everything in your body. So all your experiences around your third eye, pineal gland, and then occipital lobe, and then parietal lobe. That's how I would look at it. And then you are there, but you are not there. So this enlightenment experience is also biological experience, physical experience. So it's not mental imagination. You know that this is what has happened with me.
Why are there not enough peer-reviewed studies about this topic? We've heard words like third eye, pineal gland before from so many people.
Yes,
and even when we have spiritual conversations like this, words come out. I mean, these topics come up. Is it because science is yet to catch up with ancient philosophy like this? Like, what is the reason that there aren't scientific studies about awakening your pineal gland?
Yes. So it's not ancient. This is fact even now. So let us not go back. This is happening today. So let us explore. But people have their, prefixed notions. This is, I can't see those, energies or vibrations. So it's better to avoid it. But the good part is that people have started exploring this. They have started doing some research. It's a good sign, in fact, that way.
Do you think people will discover it in the years?
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
People discover the importance of pineal gland.
Exactly. Yes. But the thing is, as you said, research doing stuff on this. So we ourselves, we have done this. So we do a process called as Shakti Prava, and we are talking about transformation, which is not enlightenment but transformation. And we see this is beyond enlightenment. So Lord Buddha was transformed. He wasn't an enlightened being. So we are talking about transformation. So Lord Rama was enlightened, so even King Ravana was also enlightened. But Lord Rama was enlightened and transformed. King Ravana, he was just only enlightened.
What's the difference?
Difference is the enlightened person. See what happens, the state-wise, no? You are disconnected from everything what's happening around you. You become witness, you observe, and the mind is just playing. As a third person, you look at it. And this mind is not under your control. It is just playing everything, whatever is happening. And you actually see that. It's a physical experience. It is not a mental imagination. It's a physical experience that you are there. Everything is connected with you. You are part of this whole. And you are just there. And then there is this blissful love, connection with everyone. Very peaceful. So there is no craving and running behind something, trying to achieve.
Limbic system is detached.
Yeah, that's how. So there is a detachment. So we'll still work on that. What we have seen is precuneus part, which is a little deep in that, which gets activated. Amygdala also get activated in limbic system. So there is still further research required how to look into it. But I would still say that this experience in reality is this, that you are there, you observe everything.
I feel so science always begins theoretically first.
Exactly.
And you're pitching the theory of what could possibly be future scientific studies.
Exactly.
I'd also like to ask you, in this state, what, and because you're an MBBS doctor yourself, what specifically happens inside the pineal gland when all this is going on? And what is the pineal gland? Like, first explain as a doctor and then explain spiritually, sir. Like, in this state, what is the science of the pineal gland?
See, it is seen as vestigial organ, pineal gland. There is science still even haven't explored everything about pineal gland apart from secreting melatonin. That's the only thing they know. But pineal gland has more spiritual significance for your soul. So soul, this is how we look at it. Soul is in your heart spiritually. It can evolve and function through your pineal gland. And that's where the place of Shiva. Pineal gland is Shiva itself. So you reach there, and through pineal gland, you govern everything. So scientifically, sometimes it's difficult to measure how pineal gland is expressing itself, how it's controlling everything. But its effect will be seen, as you said, limbic system or prefrontal cortex or parietal lobe, occipital lobe. You will be seeing the effect of that. But when you become that, acting through pineal gland, then you are disconnected from this worldly reality. But you are there, but you are not there. That's how it is. Even the when we are talking, interacting, people are listening to it, paying attention to it. But here they are not there. But they're still there sitting at home. So the state is something that through pineal gland it acts, and then entire body is under control. And regulation, mind, everything, whatever is going to happen, you'll see a direction through it. But transformation is about entire brain. It functions at different level. So mind you express through your brain. So mind is there, it's man, buddhi, but this is these all aspects you utilize your human part, human brain to express itself. And when that gets transformed, then you become ideal human being, or one can call it as divine being also. There is a purpose behind it. if you see last 20 years, things have changed a lot.
Last 2 years.
The last 2 years in that way. Mainly a COVID thing, pandemic. It's like divinity gave you opportunity to learn out of it. If you don't learn, then you'll have to face some more, severe consequences afterwards.
Do you think mankind has learned because of COVID?
I don't see everyone, most of them. If you see, you don't need to ask me also. Just see what's happening. See any news channel or read, current affairs, everything. You can see what's happening. It's the same thing as it was earlier. If it is so, then some more things will come. So I don't want to talk about it, but the thing is, you need to mentally prepare for any such situations. After having that lesson of what we learned throughout pandemic, some people felt sit alone, but then you need to connect with someone. You can't be inside a room for many days or weeks or months. Then you want to connect with people all the time. Then you started valuing people. Then love was there, caring was there. This was such a positive sign to notice. But the moment people were out, they came back to their own evil form and then said, oh, this is mine, I want this, I want that. So nothing doing. So I am the boss, I am the power, I'll do this. So that's what you see happening over there, Russia, Ukraine. And I don't see any positive things as of now, settlement wise. So.
Which brings me to the moment I met you last year. And I was fully like broken. Like I was like powder inside. It was also an outcome of being at home throughout the lockdown for so long, just being in a loop of creating so much content. So what people don't understand about this job, I'm called a content creator. It's a new age job, where you're creating videos and podcasts and photos and write-ups for a living. But that constant creativity can sort of drive you crazy also.
Yes.
Because you're constantly challenging that creative part of your head.
Yeah.
So if you've not got a break in a long time, that creative part of your head starts acting against you.
Yes.
And I'd met you in a phase like that, where I was just physically, mentally, creatively, emotionally tired.
Yes.
And the only thing, while I think we spoke for maybe 15-20 minutes, and you answered a lot of my questions. But this was what you highlighted, that change your life's statement from whatever it is right now to just you want to help people.
Exactly.
And that's actually what it's become, like over time. At least it's becoming that even more every day.
Exactly.
And maybe even this podcast is a reminder for that, stop chasing the next stage of wealth.
Exactly.
I don't chase wealth to, buy cars or clothes. I chase it to be able to help the 200 people with me and my country and hopefully the world one day.
Exactly.
But at its core, I need to fundamentally switch that from chasing wealth to helping people. I think the wealth and all that will follow.
Exactly. So well said.
Do you have any negative feedback for me?
I would say just do what you're doing. But in between, you need to take time for yourself. So you can't, drive your car 24 hours, 365 days. You need to give break to it. Stop somewhere. Again, restart. So because you're going to give energy, to people. For that, you need to accumulate. You need to, develop, cultivate that energy, positive energy within you. So when you do that, then you're ready for the next. So that specific direction, as you said, that statement for your work-wise, that I'm going to spread love, I'm going to spread positivity. Anything that comes in between, I need to change. I just need to change that aspect. So
a part of me enjoys the aggression of going at it. I enjoy aggressively trying to help my people and everything.
Exactly. So aggression should be inside, not through words. So when you express aggression through words, then it might actually affect, relationship or spoil things. Aggression should work with you as force, internal force. Let's do it. Just be there. I'm ready. Everyone, or are you ready? The way I came, I said, I'm ready. You tell me what to do. Whenever you tell me, I'm ready. So the same way, then I'm ready.
One thing that makes me question, my own reality is I am controlled a little bit by results and numbers. And that might be the engineer inside me speaking. That might be the capitalist inside me speaking. Because numbers are a gauge of your performance.
Yes.
Another thing is, my career is on social media. And there's a constant feedback of likes, comments, engagement, subscribers. There's so many numbers fed into you. It's why most people leave this career. Because it gets maddening. At this stage, I've seen so many ups and downs that I know every down will be followed by an up. And every up is not permanent.
Exactly, you're right.
But it still affects me. Even when we hit the downs, even now 6.5 years in, if I see slight drop in numbers, slight drop, like one photo we've put up that's not done well, somewhere it really makes me open up my own aggression. That no, how can I, like maybe it's my ego, I don't know what gets it. And I don't take it out on the team, but I do kind of put them together and say, okay, how do we get out of this? How do we go to the next level?
Exactly.
And maybe that's a pattern that's helped me grow till this point.
Exactly.
That's all I know.
Exactly.
But how do I stop getting affected by it?
Yeah. So the thing is, the first step that you should do, no? Don't stop yourself from getting affected. Don't stop. Let it be there. Feel that hurt. Feel that rejection. Don't struggle with it. Don't try to change that. The moment you try to change, then you will struggle and then suffer. So let it be as it is, because this is very, very normal, very, very natural. Please don't do anything to change that state of yours internally. So if it is happening, what you have to look into it, that after every rejection or dislike, I'm improving. That means this is helping me to grow. Now focus on this. So nothing wrong by being affected, very natural. What I'm doing afterwards is that learning lesson out of it, improving, and then growing.
How do you freeze over analysis? Especially if I'm an entrepreneur, my job is to analyze. You know?
Yeah, so work-wise you can do it. Self-analysis, thought-wise. You may get into that guilt mode then, you know that you may start blaming yourself or maybe blame others. That correction, mental correction, is all the time required for the people, specifically those who actually playing this role of guiding masses, becoming kind of leaders, future leaders. They need to all the time assess their own internal state, highly required. If you don't do that, it's like cleansing required for you. Then somewhere then down the line, you may stop. So this content which is coming to you, it's not you are doing something. Nature is giving to you because 100%. You're ready. You're ready now. Internally, you're ready. So the more you move forward, you need to keep yourself like that. Anything which is helping you, meditation helping you, just follow that. That's not the final thing, but it is helping you.
Yeah.
That's how you should look at it. Yes, and throughout the day, my divine is with me. Divinity is with me. If anything wrong is there, please correct me. I will improve. So I want to grow. I want to improve. So numbers are just up and here and there. But after 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, then people will be there all the time. They'll say, oh, wow, what work he has done after so many years. When Jesus Christ was there, he had hardly 13, 14, 15 people. Now the entire world is following him. So if he goes by numbers, at that time, then he will stop functioning.
And I've just thought about my work. I've put work at the forefront and nothing else. And I know I'll be like the world's best husband or whatever, but no one's come my way. So should I just continue along that same trajectory of working?
Yeah. See, work is very important for you, what you are doing, because it's for people, for an audience of masses. So that should never stop. So it's going to continue and you just keep doing what you're doing. But personally, I see more than cerebral, you are more a heart person. Emotions are in fact more powerful than your intellectual state. Just because of your work, you don't get time to assess your internal emotional state. That's the only difference. When you get into it, then it's going to be a little painful, because then you have seen, oh wow, this so badly affecting it. So, but when you said that feeling lonely sometimes, I would say it's not being lonely sometimes, because it's a specific requirement and that's not there. That doesn't mean you're lonely. There are people with you. There are good friends with you. Parents or, people like me, all of them are there with you in your bedroom also. All of them are there together.
Yeah.
Divine is there with you. Only thing, one thing is missing that doesn't say or doesn't, justify this statement of yours that I'm lonely.
Fair. Yeah.
Then you start judging in a negative manner, and that causes depression afterwards. Then you start seeking some material kind of a boost. Oh, I think this might help me to numb that sensation that I'll be out of it. It will come back to you. But if you accept it wholeheartedly, I need someone like this. And I don't have that person in my life today. And I know this and I want that person. Just know this fact. And I'm stuck in this feeling. It's all right. And then you're out of it. Don't struggle. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
Don't struggle.
I'm a little tired of being so aggressive. Like that's the only thing. Like, as in, I don't know what to do with all those emotions, so it turns into aggression.
Yes, yes.
You know, and aggression towards myself, not my people.
Yes, yes. But this is also not right. But
yeah. Dadashreeji, talking to you, something's definitely shifted inside me. I can feel it. It's also, honestly, I mean, I'm not trying to offend you here, but it's a little heavy, like talking to you. Some angles of the things we've spoken about. Maybe it's because we spoke so much about me and my own emotional state. I don't know what it is. But sometimes in podcasts, I just know when to stop an episode. And somehow I'm feeling that we should like stop talking right now. There are more questions I have, of course. There are more pieces of content I want to put out. But I just feel for this conversation, it's time to call it a day. So, sir, just any signing off notes from you for the audience, but also for me. I would love to know both.
Yes. I would say that people should get ready for transformation. It's the time now. And for that, what you have to do is to say yes for transformation. First, know what's happening within you. That this is my current state. I want to be out of this state. So I'm ready for transformation, which is going to be there everywhere, around the globe. I want to be part of it. So saying yes to the universe, that I want to experience transformation. The second is to accept whatever is happening. That whatever is happening within me, I am aware. My mental condition, emotional state, I am just accepting it. And third is inviting divine in your life, in any form. Invite divine and then witness the shift, witness the magic. Just flow, grow, and spread love for everyone, to everyone. Okay? Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Dadashreeji. Just very grateful to you for this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that was the episode with Dadashreeji. If you've been listening until this point, I'm sure you were gripped. I'm sure you felt that it was heavy. Of course, spiritual episodes are not everyone's cup of tea. But for those souls that look for these kind of spiritual conversations, this was a great intro episode with Dadashreeji. What I can definitely say is that after the podcast, once the cameras and mics were switched off, the conversations got even more intense and even heavier. Things that can never be released on the internet. I just hope Dadashreeji returns for another episode of TRS so that we can give you some of this fantastic positive energy. Remember, follow TRS on Spotify. Every episode's available on Spotify 48 hours before it's available anywhere else in the world. So keep returning because the addition of value has just begun.